everyone, welcome to Gotta Watch 'Em All Lured Up Episode 2. My name is Ken Pescatore. I'm one of your hosts, joined by my wife, Melissa. Melissa, hi.
Hey.
And Adam Tuttle, our co-host.
Yeah.
And today is a very special episode because we have guests. We have the entire crew from Pokémon GOcast here.
Oh, what up, what up?
Yo.
Hello.
Guys, we are so excited to have you on. We name drop you guys a lot on our podcast because we're big fans of the show and we're so excited to have you guys on. So why don't you do a quick introduction of who you guys are, and I'll start picking your brains a bit. So introduce yourselves.
Cool. Well, I'm Tuxedo Tim, as you all may have heard.
I don't think they heard.
What do you mean?
I'm
Hey,
Parker,
I'm
1900.
I'm internet famous.
All right.
Well, I don't know about that. You were, anyways.
Parker.
Parker, and then Byron is over on the boards.
Hi, guys. How's it going?
Some of the boards, I guess, this week.
That's
Doing
awesome.
about half the boards, which is a lot of fun. Thanks. And first of all, thanks, guys, for having us.
Yeah,
we're
for
very
real.
excited.
Thank
No,
you.
absolutely. We're happy to have you and super excited to get to know you guys and see.
We are
where
jazzed.
can go. Yeah, we're jazzed. We're jazzed.
I'm pretty jazzed.
I'm jazzed.
I'm jazzed.
Well, let's.
You didn't sound jazzed.
I'm more like
jazz
bebop,
hands?
you know.
Sparkle hands.
Let me get to know you guys a little bit. Let's. I want to pick your brain a bit, see what your history is with Pokemon. Were you day one players of Pokemon Go?
Absolutely. I mean,
Nice.
Tuxedo Tim here. I was downloading that game on day one, the second I could. Actually, though, when the game came out, it was like an afternoon before I could download it. So it was like 6 hours after it was released. But yeah, that's about when I started.
Nice.
Was it the second day of Pokemon Go that we recorded the first episode?
No, it was 6 days after.
Oh, 6 days.
Yeah.
Okay, so we were pretty late to the game. Hi, Byron here. I was a day one player as well. I think it was Parker who bullied me into it, honestly.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a day one. And by day one player, I mean that I tried to log in for the first week. I mostly just was like trying to log into the game for the first week, but I was refreshing every day.
Parker was a Trainer Club account user, whereas I was a...
No, I use
No?
my Gmail. Yeah.
Oh.
You seem like... If anyone is a Trainer Club member,
It's me.
No,
Byron.
the thing is, the Trainer Club members couldn't use their accounts to sign in for the first few days.
Yeah.
When did you guys? You guys were all day one too?
Well, yeah. Except I use a Trainer Club account, so I couldn't even get in till the second day. So like my start date shows the 7th rather than the 6th because
Right.
I was just ready to smash my phone to smithereens because I just couldn't
likewise.
get in.
I was day one with Gmail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a smart move.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a ploy to get people to sign up for trainer accounts when neither of them were working. People were like, well, I guess I'll sign up for this, or I guess I'll get. It was like a plan on both Google and Pokemon's
I don't
part.
think that the Trainer Club accounts were ready. They crushed that server.
Yeah, that was a weird.
And it's always been a challenge. And like, I have a 9-year-old son, so he's attached to my Trainer Club account. They have this insane vetting process if you have a kid account. So I had to like add him as my family member and then trying to get his login all set up. We're always the ones that take the brunt of it whenever there's a server issue. We're always the ones that can't log in. Stinks. But
Yeah.
Oh, that's actually interesting. Yeah, we were wondering after those server outages that happened a week or so ago, because we didn't see a lot of that on our end because most, like all of us here are Google account users.
I wonder.
Adam saw no break in service at all. He didn't see any disconnect on it. And I couldn't get in until like 5:30 p.m. Eastern that day.
Yeah, I was playing all day.
Yeah. Lucky. But what's your guys' experience with Pokemon outside of Pokemon Go? You have a history with the games? Have you always been fans, or is Pokemon Go what brought it on for you?
Let's start with Parker. I think he's more actively
I mean, I was 1996. I was right in there at the get go, going hard on the Game Boy, Nintendo
cosplay.
64, the cards. I was Ash Ketchum that year, dude. I think 97. I think I was Ash Ketchum for Halloween. So it's been there. It's in the blood, for
That's
sure.
awesome. That's great.
Oh yeah.
Were you a red or a blue?
I was blue. I was definitely blue.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
That's the game.
when it came out, you just picked your favorite color.
Well, it was only red or blue,
Yeah.
exactly.
unless you were in
Well,
Japan. And there was
I mean,
green.
I'm not a psychopath. My color
there was
favorite color is
green?
green. Come on now.
Yeah,
Wait, there was
green
a-
in Japan.
That like in the first version was green,
in Japan, yeah.
huh? Instead of blue.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh,
All right.
whoa! Wow, I'm learning.
I know.
Are you okay? You gonna take a? Can we
No,
take a
it's
break?
kinda mind-blowing.
Parker's sweating a lot, and he's
I'm so chill.
so
Give him peanut
nervous
butter.
about that. Here's the peanut butter. Take a
Yeah.
Byron, what about you? Bud?
That's interesting. I was a blue boy back in the day, and then I completely quit. What, you don't want me to call myself
blue
a
boy
blue
is
boy?
like if you
Don't call yourself that at all.
Yeah, there's
I was a blue boy, and that was my nickname in high school. No, of course not. But I actually
there's a lot of history to those words. Yeah, I took art history, dude. There's a lot of that's a thing.
Sure.
Anyways,
Okay. Well,
you're good.
Then I kind of quit playing the game. I casually would mess around with like Pokemon. What was the Snap? The Snap?
On the 64.
I was a snapper.
Look that up on the Google.
Yeah, I'll check the Google real quick for you guys. No, but after that, I really kind of didn't play until Parker and Tim were recording another podcast in my office and wouldn't stop talking about Pokemon Go. I had gotten the game, but I hadn't played it at all until they kind of talked me into it. So that was my reintroduction into Pokemon.
Nice. I didn't know you would, had it at all cared at one point in your life.
Oh, really? I mean, I was a kid.
Well, you seem like you were never a kid.
Yeah, it's true.
You kind of seem like you've been
An adult,
the
like
same
the whole
age
time.
like your entire life.
Am I an old soul?
Yeah.
No, you just kind of seem like a Benjamin Button that's stopped. You just kind of seem like you've stopped.
Sure, I'm somewhere in between an old man and a baby.
You just never age in any
All right.
direction.
Seems reasonable to say. How about you, Tim?
Nice.
Oh man, I've been Pokemon.
Everybody buckle up.
I've been Pokemon since forever. People who know me, my family my parents before I was born lived in Japan for like 9 years, and they when I was being raised, we had like Japanese pen pals with their children, and they would send me Japanese Pokemon cards. So I actually got to play the Pokemon games and watch the anime before it was released in America, before it came out as Red and Blue. But of course, once it came out in English, so once it came out in English, I've been playing every generation since then, every game on every platform, all the way from like Mystery Dungeon, like every single generation on the Game Boy. And now here we are in Pokemon Go land, and it's just a brave new world of Pokemon. It's been a long, strange journey.
Yeah, I didn't know that, and I don't know.
Like, I live and breathe Pokemon. I mean, I know on the show that you always ask me questions, and I have like an answer every time, and it's kind of like, and I see it in your face. You're like, wow, he knew that, but it's like, yeah I know that.
Best
What about you guys?
Oh, well, we're Melissa and I are old farts. Sorry,
That's all right.
but so we were grown when Pokemon dropped in the States, but we were the weirdos that were like going to all the Toys R Us events with the little kids and stuff as adults, like, trying to get promo cards. So so we started out as very, very hardcore Gen 1, card collectors, and that's kind of how it started for us. Melissa's younger brother Kyle was the Pokemon master at the time. He was like the perfect demographic, just like Adam. Adam was 10 years old when Pokemon dropped, so he was like the absolute perfect demo.
Right? That's the age. That's the age.
I, at the time, was 18 years old or whatever, so I was driving around. So I would drive Melissa's brother to all the events, and he's the one who really got me into it. So it kind of started all the way back then, and then it started with the Game Boy games and all that. And I actually worked for the GameStop Corporation for years and years and years and years. So I was plugged into all that stuff through all the releases and all the launches and all that stuff. So I've always been a fan of it and always been a fan of the anime, but just recently, probably within the last maybe year, did I actually get back to playing the TCG and collecting the TCG. But, there's always been a Pokemon presence in this house. Like, for, Melissa was my high school sweetheart.
Nice.
So
Nice.
It's so weird. But so
the Misty to your Ash.
Yes,
true.
exactly.
Mine is.
Yep. But there's been Pokemon in our house and every place that we've ever lived together. There's always been a Pokemon presence. And then when Go came out, I don't know. I just went on a bender,
went off the meter.
and I just haven't stopped.
Yeah, it's been bad. Like we started with I started because I loved the cartoon. I just fell in love with the cartoon and the animation of it, and The games I liked them, but I could care less. And
snap.
I know at the time I love them now. But when Pokemon Stadium came out, that was a different ballgame. And Pokemon Puzzle League, I love those.
Yeah,
games.
we played a lot of Pokemon Stadium mini games, a lot of Pokemon Puzzle.
Oh yeah,
League
that
for
Lickitung
sure.
sushi.
Yes.
Right?
Nice that sound.
My girlfriend's been a huge fan of the Pokemon Shuffle.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's a lot of fun.
But Adam has lived the Poke life as well.
Yeah, I was 10. It came out. I got blue version.
Nice, a
And
blue boy.
You know, honestly, everybody that I know who's into Pokemon now that was into Pokemon in the old days was a blue version owner.
Yeah, because they weren't like, ugh,
No,
Charizard.
I
I'm
was
boss.
always fire. I was red, and I'm Team Valor and Go. So
Yeah.
Well.
Oh,
Team Instinct.
oh yeah.
Oh, Mystic for life.
weirdos.
Finally, yeah, Mystic. We're
Yeah,
all
exactly.
Mystic.
So you know, yeah, you
Because
obviously
right
know
team.
that.
Mystic is the correct
Yeah.
team. To
It
be
seems
on.
like the right team, yeah.
I like their like tenets. You know, it's like Pokemon is about like sharing knowledge.
God, you know too much.
No.
Do I though?
He looks in the mirror in the morning, like holds his hand up and says the oath.
No.
The Professor Val.
He might.
I actually wouldn't be surprised.
I
He
wake
gave me
up
a
and
look.
I put my hat on and then I turn it backwards in the mirror and that's how I start my day.
You're like, I
he
can- I'm
gives it the
gonna do
ass shot.
But Adam
So
is still super active with the TCG. Like he's
So, I mean, I went, after my incident with the blue version, where somebody erased my game during the Elite Four,
Oh.
I since haven't been able to complete a game. So I've just, kind of forgotten about all of the video games aspect. And I went really hard on Pokemon. The card game. Pokemon, yes. But I went hard on the TCG, and I went to Worlds 2 years in a row. Or I went to DC and then to Boston.
Wow,
wow.
that's nice.
Did you
I
get
didn't
the little pins, the badge pins? Did they get
No.
those out at that? Oh.
No, I didn't actually qualify.
Oh
Which
shoot.
is, yeah.
Dude, I never
it's
qualify every year.
Every,
the consistency is impeccable.
Yeah, I have a 100% track record for not
That
qualifying.
makes sense.
yeah, I don't know. It really bummed me out because I tried really hard. I flew to all these events. I got at the end of the season, I had 276 points out of the 300 that you needed to finally compete.
Wow.
So it was a real big letdown. But so now I'm just
Dang.
casually playing whenever I can.
Well, I'm curious then. What kind of deck do you run? I mean, I don't know. Maybe you've discussed this before, but I'm just curious.
Well, right now I'm a huge fan of Lycanroc.
Yeah, rock type.
It's got bloodthirsty eyes. So when you play that from your hand to evolve Rockruff, you get to choose which Pokemon from your opponent's bench you want active, which can put you in wherever you want to be. You can knock out something that they're trying to hide.
Right. And I guess as you would know, like Magic the Gathering, control is everything in Pokemon.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
The only issue I'm having currently with all the new set that just released, I've been playing on PTCGO. That's the online game.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It's just energy. If I miss an energy attachment, it's pretty much game over.
Well, that's what I've learned watching the Worlds competition. It's if you miss one pull or if you top deck something, one card can be the difference to sway the entire match and set the momentum for 10 turns after that.
Right, especially if you rely on that one energy to be able to take the knockout to put you in that position where you've got the game next turn.
All right, well let's get back to the go to stay focused. I mean, Adam is a bottomless pit of TCG knowledge.
Adam and Tim can hang out.
Yeah, that's Tim.
Oh no,
Byron gave me the
we
look.
Talk
He gave
sometimes
me
and
the
my head
look.
explodes. My head actually explodes. If it wasn't for the headphones, it would be a mess. Because he just starts talking and it's just oh my god, let me take some notes. Hold on, Professor.
It's important to have it. It's like a real life Wikipedia, Pokepedia.
No, it's a good resource. I
Yeah,
like to
sometimes
pick his brain.
watching Ken stream, I'm like, you should have sent this guy out. You should have attached here.
And I'm just like, attack!
Right.
But how do you guys consider yourselves players in Go? I mean, are you on the casual side? Are you on the hardcore side? I mean, do you play and raid every day? What's the capacity that you guys play in?
Well, that's kind of the interesting thing that I think our podcast brings to the table that's a little bit different than a lot of the other Pokemon Go podcasts out there. I am like as casual a player as they come. Parker's a little bit in the middle, and Tim plays like every single day, all day. So.
Yeah, the other
well,
day,
not all day.
No,
but...
I'll just tell this about that's pretty accurate. I play pretty weekly. Like I'll play a couple times a week when I have like time for it. I saw Tim just hanging out downtown, sitting on the corner of a street by himself, just swiping and for a good like 10 minutes. And then I was like. I went over and I was like, "Hey, Tim," and then we like hung out. But he just walked to a corner like where there's a gym at, and just like plopped down and started swiping, and didn't even notice that I was like near him or anything.
Well, you can't look around.
No, you're playing the game.
Yeah,
you're throwing the balls.
you can't be aware of your
weird.
surroundings.
Yeah.
No, even though it tells you to be.
Look up. Don't look at the phone. Come on.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well,
and I
that's
found
something
that
I hope they add to the game with a friends list, maybe, where if someone's close to you in the game, you would get notified.
Oh man,
Dude, it'd be awesome.
Our wish list of things that we want Niantic to add to this game is gigantic.
Yeah, some kind of chat feature like that would be, and yeah, just a friends list.
I'm
chat
telling you,
function would be so awesome.
In-game mini games that aren't competitive would be my number one like wish list item.
What? Oh, I'd want trading.
I want
Also.
Blockbuster to come out with that sticker machine again.
Remember
that?
Oh,
Byron, I have those
I definitely
cards.
want that.
Blockbuster
Dude,
doesn't
I have a
exist
buddy,
anymore.
Jason, who has one of those in his living room. He has the actual
No,
machine. It still has film paper in
you
it.
don't.
Yeah, dude.
No
And
way.
It still has the
But-
paper in it and everything, so you can still make printouts.
Of the Pokemon Snap kiosk, he has one of those.
Those
No
things are like
way.
$1,000.
Dude, oh.
He's a ball. He runs NintendoWire.com, so he's like a Nintendo junkie. So he's got
Nice.
he's
dude,
got
that's so
legit
awesome.
stuff. Yeah, it's so cool. Jason number 2, if you're listening, shout out to your Pokemon Snap machine. So
Yeah, what up,
jealous.
Double J?
Can he
So
refill
jealous.
it? Like, can he get new
I don't
paper
know.
for it?
I don't know if it's proprietary like style stuff, but
That's like a dream list item for sure. That I would like to like make an art show with Pokemon Snaps, like print it out as like just like landscapes and stuff from Pokemon Snap, but then print them out and like hang them in a
Have an
coffee
art
shop
show.
or something.
That seems right. Yeah.
Anyways,
But yeah,
awesome.
yeah, I think that's actually, it's been an interesting perspective to have. Every time I listen to Tim talk, I'm shocked and surprised, and it's fun. It helps me with my playing, because I'm very casual. Very.
You're extremely casual.
Yeah.
yeah, casual.
that's good though. So like in terms of caring about mechanics and IVs and all that stuff, I mean, is that not part of your scope when you play?
No,
Me
see,
personally?
For Byron, Byron is literally like, he is the most casual of us all, and just playing the game is satisfying for him, whether or not he's winning, losing, or anything in between.
My literal goal is just to catch Pokemon that I don't have already.
He's
And-
still
That's
working on his
awesome.
Pokedex,
Yeah.
and
and
that's
I-
how casual he is. But it's okay because he still cares too.
We went into that gym one time.
Yeah, we did, and you didn't even compete.
Yeah, you didn't compete in it though.
No.
I remember that.
We went as a gym to be at a gym together as a team, and Byron just watched.
Yeah, I think he just doesn't.
I got a
Priceless.
lot on my plate.
I think you're just scared to like feed your Pokemon if they get hurt.
Well, of course, I
It's
don't
very
want them to get
caring of you.
hurt.
Yeah, it's caring of you.
I care a lot about them. But yeah, Tim, you're the IV guy.
It's true. But also, I'm not a nitpicker about it. Like, we live in a pretty rural region, so a lot of the Pokemon we have here, the opportunities to catch them, it's not like we're living in some sort of metropolitan area where Pokemon spawn consistently in rare spawn locations. Like, the nests we have here are like Mankeys and like Sandshrews and stuff like that. It's not anything special. So I don't really put a lot of weight onto IVs as much as I do just trying to get a Pokemon up to its max CP value.
I'm down at the Jersey Shore, so we have a ton of activity everywhere. We're pretty spoiled when it comes to that. But, we don't get the crazy spawns. We have tons of Pokestops, tons of gyms, but if a Snorlax were to spawn or something like that, it would be insane because it's so rare around here. I've never seen like a wild Gyarados or a wild Dragonite, never. It just doesn't happen.
Oh man, that was one of our earliest day catches when Parker and I first started this podcast. Was he caught a wild Dragonite.
In his living room.
No, not in my living room.
Well, your girlfriend did, though, right?
She got a Charizard, like, the first week. And
then in the house?
Yeah, in our house. And then I found a Dragonite, like, the third day that it was out. And it was only, like, CP, like, 147 or something. It was really low. But it was still...
That's
and then I was like, wow, this game's pretty easy. And then later, I was like, oh, never mind.
Nope, that
was a fluke.
But let's. I want to talk about some of the nuts and bolts of Pokemon Go for the past week or two. We've had some, a lot of the YouTubers that are out there are kind of in this little dry spell because they're saying that the game has kind of gone stale. But
welcome to the world of weekly Pokemon Go news, all you YouTubers out there,
or daily vlogging. It's like. But, there has been a ton of stuff happening kind of in the back end, kind of underneath the surface with the game. There was a new update. They made it a forced update. And there's a lot of good stuff that they put in the patch notes. I'll read off a couple of them that were pretty relevant. Costumed Pokemon can no longer be mass transferred. So that's going to be your Santa hat, party hat, Pikachu's, that kind of stuff. It'll give you a warning, and you can't mass transfer them. Now, this is interesting because this with them adding this update, I'm kind of thinking that maybe we're going to see some kind of costumed Pokemon for the Halloween event.
Absolutely.
It might be more than coincidence. And they fixed a couple bugs, network errors while battling gyms, raid battle lobbies will now show the correct count. We have a very large raid group in our area, so I mean we'll have 30, 40, 50 people out raiding back to back to back, and we would have a full lobby and it would still show, 2 people, and it's like you could scroll around and see everybody, but the count was always wrong. So that's fixed now. Curveballs, which I've never really had an issue with any curveballs not registering, but they fixed that glitch, and various bug fixes. So a lot of interesting stuff.
Minor text.
Well, dude, I wish they stopped adding that to the actual patch notes, which is a bummer because I would always laugh whenever I saw that.
Oh, it's so
dude,
fun.
It's because we finally figured out what that meant. And once it was no longer a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek joke for them, I think they stopped.
Pokemon Go Hub did do a APK mine of this latest update, and there is some pretty exciting stuff that happened that is not listed in the show notes, with particularly the introduction of the multiple forms for Deoxys and Cast Form. So you guys familiar with what they added in that capacity?
So the actual data, that's just something that we've been aware of as far as being added to the game. Although the fact that they added multiple forms for these Pokemon is interesting because it would talk about, it brings up to concern the things that we've been experiencing now, like Pokemon with multiple forms. I think Gen 3 was one of the first generations where, kind of like Eevee was the first multiple form Pokemon, but Cast Form and Deoxys were even more of an expression of that sentiment. So it's interesting to see that coming into the game. Well, Cast Form changes form based on the weather, and Deoxys is a special meteor alien Pokemon that changes form based on the type of radiation it's exposed to.
Nerd alert.
Yeah, what a dork, right? Hey, he took it right out of my mouth.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I was about to say
Deoxys
that
is one of the coolest pseudo-legendaries that there are.
The Destiny Deoxys is one of my favorite Pokemon movies.
Right? But, they go to Antarctica and see Pokemon. Wow. It's like an alien. It's literally an alien virus. It's like, what's the alien that's in Spider-Man? Venom. Yeah, it's like the Venom Pokemon.
Cool, dude.
Yeah.
But with Cast Form, what's interesting is, they talked about weather effects coming to the game maybe 6 or 8 months ago. There was kind of that sunset screenshot that we saw, and, they were talking about that.
That's true.
So it's interesting that the Cast Form has the different weather-based forms. That would be really cool because they're getting the data from Google, and they're getting the data from Google Maps, which gets weather data to direct traffic and stuff. So that data is there. So it would be really, really cool if, based on real-time weather from where your GPS is, we see different forms of Cast Form. I think that would be really neat.
Yeah.
Well, they've also, it's not to say that they can't do it. They do have the fact that the game does go from day to night already. Exactly. And so it would be a short jump to add a few more elements into that. Daytime, clear, daytime, cloudy, all those things. Daytime snowing.
Right, it would probably only need 4 or 5 variations, so it wouldn't be that significant. But I think that would be cool and add a little bit more immersion to the game and switch it up for players and make it a different experience for different trainers, which I think is pretty neat. Deoxys now, this one is even more interesting because, one, we don't have Ho-Oh, we don't have Mew, so I know that this legendary is probably way out, but the fact that they broke it out with the normal attack, defense, and speed forms, we all know that there's no speed stat really in Pokemon Go, so could this be a kind of early introduction to the fact that they're going to be bringing speed in some way, somehow, or I just want them to get rid of CP.
Well, how about this? I'll put this out there, and I'm not sure how much you guys have talked about this before, but in that interview with the president of the Pokemon Company, when he said that Pokemon Go was 10% complete as a Pokemon game, I mean, that itself was an illusion, I think, to the fact that there will be in the future a major overhaul of the Pokemon Go battle system.
I think it is coming as well, and welcomed. Very welcomed, because that's kind of the battle system itself is one of the weakest elements of the game. So they've nailed the community aspect of it and how the battle system brings people together, but the actual mechanic of going through the battle is, you don't even have to look at your phone.
No, absolutely not. Even though I do, and I don't notice when Parker is standing across the street waving at me while I'm battling.
Just taking pictures of you.
He must have been there watching. I had no clue. I had no idea.
I was talking to other people, and I was there for like 10 minutes. And then you finally looked up.
Yeah.
I was like, hi, Tim.
How long have you been there?
I had no idea. My question to him was, why didn't you help me take down this gym?
Yeah, when you guys were saying that you had like a raid team of like 40 to 50, we were very jealous of that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. None of us have, we have between all of us,
even
no
in the
hardcore
raiding scene in our area, we have, I think, probably like at most 20 or so people that I've seen gathered at once, and that's at the very most.
That's usually on like a Saturday or
usually
something.
It's like 6 to 8, and that's where we are at like a team. So taking down a Tyranitar raid with that team is hard, and it's frustrating too.
Yeah, I didn't get an EX raid pass, but I did go to the first Mewtwo raid in our area, and there was a full 60 people there battling and about 30 other people there just kind of cheering them on. So the scene out here is bonkers. It's very, very, and we have a lot of organization too. There's a lot of Discord and Facebook usage,
Yeah,
it's very, very organized down by me. So we're, we put a lot of effort into it, but we kind of, we're spoiled because we do have that ability to, if there's a new legendary or something like that, we know that we can get a group from 7 a.m. straight through the last raid at night. There's people out there.
Have you guys had any luck getting any of the new legendary legendary beast that's come out recently?
Yeah, so that kind of leads into the next thing I wanted to talk about with the rotation.
Not for our region. We're sitting at an Entei right now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what we got? I swear,
dude,
I've
had major troubles with Entei. I missed my first 3. I caught my 4th, and 5, 6, and 7 have all run for me as well. And so I'm 1 for 7 right now on Entei, and it's killing me. But Melissa we talked about it a little bit or I mentioned it a little bit on our standard format show last week, but you got it bad.
Yeah,
she had this crazy glitch happen in her first Entei raid that she tried.
Yeah.
Her first and only. I felt so bad.
My first and only, where the screen just, like, it let me into the battle, but it just kept loading and loading and loading. Like, it wouldn't actually show anything happening, so I dropped.
Well, she had a black screen of death. So
well, that was the second time. After I tried to get back in, and it said rejoin battle, I was like, all right, good, I'm good. I hit the rejoin battle, same thing, black screen of death, but you saw the little spinning, thinking circle in the corner. And by the time I tried to log in the third time to jump back in,
we had beat the raid.
Yeah, and it said rejoin battle, and I'm like, all right, well, maybe it'll just give me the you win screen. And
yeah.
No, it stole my raid pass.
It took her raid pass.
So it stole my raid pass. Yes, and denied me.
Oh.
So she's like, this game hates me. This game. Well, the Equinox events just ended too, and Melissa has always had like
horrible luck,
horrendous luck,
horrible.
So I was hatching Mareep after Mareep after Mareep after Larvitar after Chansey.
Yes.
I was racking stuff up like crazy.
Not me.
And Melissa's like, Paris.
Yeah.
Nidoran.
Oh my god.
Primeape. 3 Primeapes. I just wanted to turn the game off.
I've been there.
Delete
So
it.
bad. Dude, I hate that. I got tons of Mareeps, and I got tons of Larvatars, and Dratinis, and Snorlaxes during the Equinox event.
Yeah. See, Melissa's all about the Snorlax, so she gets super jelly
We get
if
very
anyone gets
jelly.
Snorlax.
I know. My Snorlax at the moment, I think he's a 93% max IV, and he is only about 7 or 8 like power-ups from max CP for my level. Which I'm level 32 right now.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about that. What are your teams and levels?
So we've mentioned this. All three of us here are Team Mystic, so blue team for life. But also Byron is very low. He's like level 13, 14.
Hey, whoa!
What?
I'm actually not sure where
So,
I'm at.
Baby.
I mean, you guys remember, I told you he is like the ultra casual of us all, and he plays for the pure enjoyment of it, and he goes on jogs and has his game running, but he doesn't play it while it's running. He just
Well, sometimes you run
has
out of
it.
You need to
Pokeballs
go
for
fast.
3 months.
yeah,
Yeah, that's true. He has been. Yeah, you don't click the stops very
right.
well.
And
I
so,
was gonna
and
say, do you
Parker,
at
on the
least
other
have a Go
hand,
Plus?
Oh no!
no, I do, and Parker has one, but
Yeah.
Byron does not. We couldn't convince him to get one. We did all the we did the
Well, we
product
could've gotten him
reviews,
one.
but you know, it's like
That's
Christmas
when
is
you're a
coming.
good friend and you just go
Christmas
buy
is
him
coming.
one. Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
You
you're
go
in
buy
my
him one.
studio.
Commit to the cause.
GoFundMe,
Right.
$36.99.
I'm already
Get
on
that
my
tax
third
in there.
Pokemon Go Plus battery for mine, so
Oh, dude, I change batteries once a month.
Yeah, I
you
don't.
have to.
I lost
You
count.
have to.
Heads up, I'm a 19, guys.
Oh, there we
Oh,
go.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's been leveling while I haven't been watching. That's what's up.
Yeah, and I'm 28. Like I said, I've slowed down since Gen 2's come out.
Did you guys ever do that that website where you put in how much what level you are and how much experience and like what how long it took you to get to that level, and then it predicts how long it would take you to get to level 40?
Yeah, I've done that. I'm about to hit level 39. So I'm
Nice.
the
Excellent.
grind is real at this point. So
Yeah,
I think
Yeah, it
I'm
is.
close.
like level 38 to 39 is a 3 million XP window, and then 39 to 40 is a 5 million window. So it's I think I'm at like 2.6 or 2.7 million into level
That's
30.
so rough.
Right?
That's so rough.
Oh, it's
So
brutal.
gross.
It's brutal. So.
According to that calculator, I will be level 40 in the year 2037.
That can't be right. That can't be right.
No, it was totally true. That was it.
Yeah, that's not right.
It was forever. It was a long amount of time.
Did you guys grind Stardust? Did you still get out there and play during Equinox? Were you able to power up some stuff? I mean, obviously that Snorlax
Absolutely.
is beefy. That takes a ton of Stardust, ton of candy.
I spent all of my Stardust powering up my Scizor and my Togetic.
Nice.
Togetic's more like one of those Pokemon that I don't think he's good for gym battling, but I just really like having a really high CP Togetic, you know?
Adam has a 100% Pokemon collection. He's like powered up ferrets and stuff. I always bust his chops.
Dude,
Hey, don't bust those chops. Every Pokemon can be a contender in a gym, and that's the real fact.
It is. It's true. With
It
with
is.
the current meta, you could put anything in there. It's still going to take 3 battles to wipe out.
Yeah, you guys are familiar with the guys over at Pokemon Go Radio, right? Papa Nar and Salt.
Yeah, we
And
had him
Peppa.
on last month.
Yeah,
You didn't know that?
no,
They're the best.
they're cool. But their little baby Shuckle, I mean, no joke though, Shuckle is a super gym contender.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
one of the highest defense stats in the game.
That's right. I mean, people see a Blissey in a gym and they're like, oh, great, a Blissey. But man, you put a Shuckle in there and it's a serious challenge.
I'm a total troll when it comes to gyms too, because
Right.
I've got the 34, 3500 big beefy Pokemon, but I love dropping a 10 CP Magikarp.
It still takes
Oh,
three.
yeah.
It still takes 3 battles to get him out.
during the Equinox event, I hatched a 100% Chansey.
Oh,
That's
that's
awesome.
so
So
lucky.
I've been working on my Blissey, trying to get that as high.
I bet
powered
that's a
up as I
pain in
can.
the buns.
Dude, it is. Especially because I
that's-
only hatched 2,
Oh,
and I've had to use rare candies.
How
those
much
are hard to come by.
kilometers have you walked with it?
None.
None. Get walking,
I'm walking.
buddy.
Hey, I'm walking with my 100% Lugia right now.
All right. Okay.
Dude, you gotta
I've
use
walked
the rare
80
candy.
kilometers.
On legendaries, just use the rare candy. How do you walk a 20k per candy? Oh man, that's
Does it
inefficient.
Lugia take 20 Ks?
20?
20?
Yeah, all the
Wow.
legendary are 20.
I've walked 80.
That's madness.
ooh.
That's true madness.
That's
Right now.
crazy.
I'm walking a Hoppip trying to get that last 25 candies.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like the Magikarp marathon we had.
Oh, yeah.
Back. Remember that?
400 kilometers. Parker walked 400 kilometers for that Magikarp.
Since we're in Montana, we have no Magikarp. And so I got one, and then I walked 400 kilometers.
Oh, my goodness.
It was like it was like 6 months.
It was a long time.
6-month long thing.
You did mention the legendary beast did rotate. We do have Entei in America. I want to give a quick breakdown real quick. From a nerdy perspective about what to expect with Entei. Last month when we had Pokemon Go Radio on, we talked about Raikou and what that one was all about. With Entei, the CP that you're going to want to look for when you go to capture it for 100% CP is 1930. Again, 2% base capture rate. So if you have a Golden Raz, a Curveball, an excellent throw, and the gold medal for fire, you have about a 16% catch rate on Entei. Now, what I noticed with Entei is the attack animation is significantly predictable, and it gives you a good amount of time to kind of prepare a curveball. I don't know if you guys use any techniques, any special techniques of Shaolin or anything like that to catch raid bosses, but you guys have any strategies for catching legendaries, or do you guys just go for it?
Well, at this point, I mean, like we said, we live in a fairly rural area, so raid bosses and raids in general are much more of a struggle for us to get to, and I mentioned this on our podcast a few times, but like, I don't do raids anymore. I do 1, 2, and 3-star raids because I can solo them or do them with my buddies here in the studio.
But you don't have the support.
But there's no teams. I can never. I mean, honestly, us three, we could never take down Tyranitar, which is a 4-star raid. Yeah. And there's no way we could get together and do a 5-star raid. So I did some legendaries when they first came out. The Articunos, Zapdos, Moltres, and the Lugias. But at that time, before they patched the catch rate, it was just almost impossible to catch them, much less beat them in our region. So we haven't done any of the most recent raid battles, but I will tell you this. As far as catching Pokemon in a battle in general, I tend to use Ultra Balls, and I like to just sort of watch for several moments. I hold that Pokeball down, and I watch that circle, and I just look at it, and I sort of stare that thing down, and I'm like, okay, are you going to jump yet? You going to try it?
Uh-huh.
And
you talk to him a little bit.
I do, in my mind. I'm like, huh? And I throw that thing, and that's basically it. No curveballs, nothing special. Just trying for that.
Just a nice long pause before you throw.
No, that's what it is. It's a mental focus exercise, and that's where it comes, because the most effective catch technique is getting an excellent throw.
Right.
I mean, and there's no one who will dispute that.
So even if you don't do the curveball, you're still going for an excellent, but you're being
every
patient.
time excellent, and that's the goal.
I could picture home.
Right. It's like you have to zen zone yourself.
Well, that's awesome. We did see did you guys see the Japanese support email kind of leak thingy where one of the support guys kind of mentioned that Ho-Oh raids, EX raids were going to be rolling out in December, which is pretty exciting.
And that's actually cool because it's like sandwiching the first legendary with the last legendary of the current generation.
Exactly.
Lugia and Ho-Oh coming in. It's kind of like a nice little bookend for the season.
Right. If they do like a December 1st, launch window, then it's nice because we have a month-long stretch for each of the legendaries. And, man, I feel for you guys. I feel for the challenges. I mean,
it's rough out here in the wilds.
So we can stay with you guys for a little bit?
Yeah, dude. You guys got to come here, man. It's like, Adam is going to be coming down. We're about 5.5 hours from each other, and he's going to be coming down at the end of the month for the Philly Free Streets event that Niantic is doing. Now, this is kind of a low-key event where they're not doing regionals or, unknown spawns or anything like that, but he's going to be coming down, and I'm going to be sure to hook him up with our raid squad, the Jersey Shore raid squad, because we took Melissa's brother out for the first time with the raid squad, and he was just like, dude, this is nuts. Like, it's pretty crazy to see the count of people.
He just couldn't believe how many people actually came out so
they can't
fast.
Look at these 50 socially awkward people.
We would turn on the game and we would see sorry. We would turn on the game, I'd be like, all right, there's a legendary raid starting down the street. We use I use Pokemon Go as GPS.
Yeah, she directs me. She's like, make a left.
Absolutely.
So I'm like, all right, there's one down the street. And it'll just be me my husband and Josh in the car, and we're just leaving dinner. I'm like, all right, within 5 minutes we can have a group of 20 people there.
Yeah, we were eating dinner, and I was like, we're going to be done eating in 5 minutes. There's one about to pop down the road. Like, anyone want to come? And it's like, beep, 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 beep. And just packed.
Yeah.
It's like, this
we're spoiled.
That's insane.
Yeah. And I mean, it's crazy. They're so active at like 7, 8 in the morning. And some of these,
some of these guys are professionals.
They go all day long.
Like, I don't know how they do it, literally getting up all day and playing all night.
Well, for me, I would do that if I didn't have life responsibilities.
For me,
one time I went to a gym at like 9 or 10 at night. This was like early Gen 1 days. And there was this lady, she was probably in her 50s, somewhere in there. And she had like a fanny pack with 2 water bottles on the side of it, and the fanny pack was like loaded with snacks, and she was just there. Like, my girlfriend and I went to take the gym, and then like she just walked up and just like held it down, and like we could not take that gym from her. She said nothing. She said nothing to us. Like, there's hardcore, and then there's like hardcore.
I'll tell you, last fall, about this time last year, I went to San Francisco to go and visit the headquarters of Niantic Corporation.
Unofficially.
Unofficially.
Just went there.
So we
I'm
were
here to
doing the
fix the
podcast. Yeah, it was like
That's
it was
pretty
like
much
some
what he did.
Except he was dressed like Ash Ketchum.
and I got someone to let me in the building. It was and I asked the people at the door, I was like, "Hey, is this Niantic?" And they're like, "No." And I look on the wall behind the guy, and it says in big old black letters, Niantic.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
The guy at the desk looks down. There's a big note that says, "If anyone asks if this is where Niantic is, say no."
I mean, there was like that you could see on the wall plate in the building where they'd scrubbed off the words Niantic headquarters.
So I don't mean to be a buzzkill, but if we travel all the way to where you guys are to be part of the Jersey Shore raid crew, we don't have to do some sort of violent initiation, do we?
You have to steal a car.
Okay.
You have to get branded.
We're going to brand you, and then you can only wear your team colors, and if you wear the opposing team colors, I can't be responsible for what happens.
I guess that makes sense.
Well, I'm in for that.
Seems
That's
fair.
easy. Yeah.
All right, cool.
I mean, if we start driving now, we could be there in 35 hours.
You can get
all
it
right,
soon,
we'll
dude.
see you
big is your
October
car?
28th.
Sounds good.
We're right by Newark Airport, so just fly right in. We're fly right.
Oh, we don't
in.
have those.
Oh, you don't?
You don't have those. What's that?
Those ones
on,
that
guys.
start by
Horses, guys.
pedaling with the double wings.
Yeah,
that flap.
we're gonna ride a moose out.
Yeah,
Actually,
we got to saddle up the mooses.
All right, guys. So let's as we come to a close on the podcast, I want to go over a couple things, and I did the same thing with Pokemon Go Radio, and I want to pick your brains a little bit on a couple different topics that are kind of split in the community, where some people can be hardline, some people could care less, and it's always fun to hear different people's perspectives on a couple of these topics. And the first one, I'm very excited to ask you guys of your perspective on spoofing.
Parker,
we
why don't you take this one?
We don't really like to get into it.
No, let's the part.
What? You guys were making faces at me, though. Byron and Tim were being super distracting to me. And I need a repeat of the question real quick. I don't know what happened to both of them. Okay, what?
How do you feel about spoofing?
Oh God, don't do it. We
Spoofing.
I don't
If you say it 3 times, it'll happen.
Spoofing.
There's a
Oh no!
spoof. Oh,
Come on, guys. I was having a great night, and then you
spoof.
you called this robot
Hello,
from
spoof out here.
the near future into our
Spoof
studio.
2020.
And that's not fair of you to do.
Get him out of here, Byron. Use the broom. Get him out. He's turned it. Oh,
Well, let's let them ask a question to Spoofbot.
no.
He's like he's like an 8 ball.
He keeps metamorphosizing into more and more complex forms of robots and technology. It really freaks me out.
It's
All right.
unsettling. For
Ask
sure.
the guy a question. Ask this bot a question.
Do you consider spoofing more like air support than cheating?
Spoofbot pass. Spoofbot air support will Spoofbot 2024,
yeah.
the drone version of Spoofbot. Spoofbot is the spoof always.
Okay.
Always spoof.
I mean,
spoof forever.
All right, get the broom.
Spoof is
All right,
life.
he's gone.
Spoof is life.
Bye. Okay, so Spoofbot, I mean, I think we're all kind of on the same page Spoofbot, unfortunately, it would mean the end of his existence. So he's obviously pro spoofing, but I don't know, air support. How do you feel about that, Tim?
I'll tell you what. Living in a rural area, we don't see a lot of the players that we play with anyway, because like we said, there's like 7 to 8 people and that's considered a large raid. So spoofing, it's obviously a way to break the game, but for people like us who live in an area where there's not a lot of people, it's a great way for the game to continue to be vibrant and active. And I don't want spoofing to be the answer, but it is definitely the cure for what is ailing Pokemon Go right now.
Yeah. It's kind of like what we were talking about.
Us.
Like if they could put in a friends list or like some kind of chat program, they could also implement something where it's like a regional raid. So people in rural areas could all, like at a certain time, a raid would pop up, not at a Pokestop, but just like a general area raid, and then all these rural players from different areas could all like
a
work
regional
together.
raid.
Yeah.
I like it.
That's pretty cool, actually. I never considered that, because that way...
So you're spoiled.
Yeah, totally. Dude, totally.
You're a bunch of spoiled Pokemon players.
I know.
Yeah, they are hosts.
All right, well, it feels like they just called us to rub it in our face. That's kind of not fair.
Well,
no, but
Fire.
Salty.
Fire might be going off the rails. Sorry, guys.
Would you like some pepper with that salt?
Oh, snap. Okay, no, but yeah, I completely agree.
I mean, spoofing is not the answer, but it is definitely not something that I'm 100% against, because of the way that it affects the game for us as rural players.
The second they implement trading, though, there's just no way.
There's no reason to have spoofing.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
There's lots of things they can do to fix that, and spoofing is literally a side effect of the way that they made the game right now. So, what can you do about that?
That's why I like to ask it, because it's definitely interesting, because with us having the numbers that we do locally, if we see a spoofer in the room, we'll immediately back out and create a private, so they can't get in, because, we don't, it's like, we don't serve your kind here. We don't want anything to do with it.
Oh, absolutely.
And, it's like, I don't like you either. But, it's different, I guess, in your setting, because, if someone's going to be there and provide the support that's going to allow you to beat this thing finally, it's
right.
like, hey, man, go
take it where you can get it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I know, and it's a hard choice to make, because we want to be playing this game and we don't want to be playing it the right way, but the way that it's designed right now, it's not easy and it's not fun when the mechanics are working against you.
Do you guys, I don't even know if you have this active in your area. It's completely saturated in our area. I don't personally use it, but like third-party tracking tools, websites, or anything like that. Do you guys have that in your area? Because I know a lot of people in rural areas, if they do have it, they'll take advantage of it, because that's their only opportunity to say, oh my God, Snorlax.
Absolutely. So, again, same with spoofing. We use, more predominantly than anything, we use a reporting system where people will be able to personally report to a Discord channel that there is a Pokemon that is of a rare status in a certain area. And that's a way that we can communicate there. And trackers, I think, are probably one of the best things that has happened to rural Pokemon Go playing, especially since our spawn times and spawn locations are so far apart. It's literally like one end of town to the other end of town to get to like pretty good spawns for us, like an hour of driving, because it's just so spread out. Bots, on the other hand, I think I'm 100% against. This is a game where people should be being rewarded for playing, and bots take that away.
Right. That's a great way to put it, because, at that point, it's just an automated machine, and you're right. There's zero experience even for the user of the bot.
Mm-hmm. I think we all remember the 3-step tool, the 3-step tracking system, and how
bring it back.
Fun that made the game, right? Like manually triangulating the position of rare Pokemon that you were able to sort of track down. That was really good. And I do have to say this, the new nearby tracker where they tell you which Pokestop the Pokemon is nearby, that's good as well. But it's not as useful to a person who's like really out there trying to get that Pokemon collection completed.
Yeah, one of my items on my wish list for this game is for them to have or implement the ability to kind of toggle between nearby and sightings. That way, if I want to, drive to a location, I can look at the Pokestops and, figure out where they are. But I do miss that whole culture of the game of just walking and, walking down a block and saying, it went down 3 positions and I have to turn around and go the other way. That element of the game is completely gone for me because it's so dense in my area with Pokestops that the actual nearby will only come up if there's no Pokestops. And I'm so saturated with Pokestops that I never see that. So all I ever see is the locations of the Pokestops. So I would love if they brought that back. The ability to toggle between looking at the Pokestops and looking at what's in your immediate area. I think that would bring a lot back to the game. I mean, where do you guys stand as far as, like, we were kind of hinting at this earlier of what your dream list or wish list for this game is? What would be the one thing that they would add?
All right.
Oh man.
Byron, why don't you go first?
I don't know.
Let's just do one thing.
Spookier costumes.
All right, more costumes.
More
Dude,
clothing
that's
choices.
come. It's going to come.
Yeah, I want trading. That's I mean, I know it's going to do weird things to the whole market of the game, and I think there will be an actual black market of people selling legendary Pokemons to people in rural areas.
Think or want.
Y'all need one of these Lugias.
We've come up with the idea that we just hang out at international airports and get the regional Pokemon and like trade them like some kind of weird.
Parker, he's been hoarding Tauros for forever.
Well, and didn't you go internationally for a second?
But they didn't have.
But you were trying to get.
But they didn't have the regional.
Yeah, you were trying to get the regional. Where were you? Thailand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, I want trading. I think that's for me. That's part of it's the part of the game. I mean. It's in like Pokemon trading card. Like it's been the game since day one.
Wait, you can trade the trading cards?
Yeah, try it with a
play
friend.
for them
At gunpoint in the airport parking lot.
Byron doesn't have friends, so
I've got coworkers.
Yeah,
that's what it seems like.
Buy them a pack
for
and
my
then trade them.
For my number one thing on the show or the game, I would really just want single player, non-competitive mini games that you can do with your buddy Pokemon.
Yeah.
I agree with that a lot, and I've brought that up on Reddit, and I usually get shot down because people are saying, "Oh, that goes against the game of getting out and going." But there's plenty of times where I'll be laying on the couch or in bed next to Melissa, and I'm like just spinning the map real fast, going, "Look how awesome this game is!" Just because there's nothing to do, and it's like, man, if I had a little mini game.
Do you remember Magikarp? Magikarp Jump would have been a perfect mini game. For Pokemon Go. They could have just added that to Pokemon Go.
Absolutely.
But they made it a separate game and nobody plays it anymore.
Dude, I still play.
Yeah, I was going to say, I totally still play.
Don't lie to me, Byron.
But
you even quit Garfield Go.
I want to comb hair. I want to comb my
Do you guys play Garfield Go?
Dude.
Oh, don't get it started, Myron.
No.
But for real, have you guys won any of the prizes? We really want to know someone who's won a prize on Garfield Go because there's $50 cards.
Dude, when you guys did the Garfield Go episode, I downloaded the game and I was like, I can't do it. I can't. I want it so bad. I was like,
don't do it. I hate that game.
Lowest tier prize. I was like, I just can't do it.
Dude, I thought I was determined. I played pretty hardcore for like 3 days of Garfield Go because I wanted to get even a $5 Starbucks gift card. I wanted something physical so badly, and it wasn't happening. And,
it's a hard game.
I still feel bad for Garfield Go. They only have like 200 followers on Twitter.
I think it was less than that.
Yeah, I think they're probably done now. Maybe not though. Maybe it's still vibrant. Who knows?
That's what you get when you syndicate your, intellectual
let's
material.
Not go there.
208 followers. That's pretty good.
Are we one of them?
Of course. Actually, no, we weren't. Now we are.
Oh,
good. 209.
Unfollow.
Another thing, along with costumes, I think that, and they kind of showed this when they were working with that new AR kit, some sort of like nano baby Tamagotchi type.
Yeah.
Where you can like take care of them as a side game kind of thing.
And they can kind of hang out in your room with you and you can like place them around.
What about that like more interactive photo studio feature where you could choose which Pokemon you want to take a 3D environmental picture with?
Yeah, I think that would be cool.
Well, Tim and I have always said this. We want to play with our phones taped onto our faces like in a Google Cardboard or something and just walk around and see Pokemon appear.
That is so true.
As soon
That's
as we
what
can
I want.
get that, as soon as we can get it into contact lenses, let's do it. Like we're ready to see Pokemon.
I mean, have you guys seen the Snapchat spectacles?
Yeah.
So it's like a Google Glass. So that is going to be the future, man. That's going to be the evolution of AR, where we are going to have some kind of wearable, and that would be awesome. Like turning the corner and there's a Pokemon. Heck yeah, sign me up.
I think that's one of the most exciting parts about like Pokemon Go in general, is that this is the first kind of really big AR game that we've seen. And so there is like right now, it's definitely not a perfect game by any means, and it's just not where it could be, but we see all that growth, and like in a few years, like this was a phenomenon that created what AR gaming will be in a few years from now.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of it, and I'm also an iOS user, so I'm excited that the AR kit is going to be coming to iOS. So I'm anxious to see what they do with that, and the sky's the limit with AR, and it's cool that Pokemon Go and Niantic just happen to be at the forefront of that, where it's a fringe benefit. So we
and they got a nice budget to start working with too.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of VC in AR right now. It sounds really nerdy. But the as I want to wrap up the show, you guys have been awesome. I could probably talk to you guys all night because you cracked me up. I want to definitely want to give you guys a big shout out to the show. And if you guys have not subscribed to Pokemon GOcast, get on that, because it's absolutely entertaining. They consistently come out on the weekly basis, and really, really like what you guys are doing. So thanks so much for coming on. I want to give you the opportunity to plug away. Whatever you guys want to plug your other podcasts and all the other stuff you're doing. I know isn't Byron on 43 different podcasts?
Listen, I'm a busy boy.
He's a mega producer.
Blue boy? No, busy blue boy, Byron?
I'm a blue boy, and I'm at Byron McCoy on Twitter, Instagram, that kind of stuff. I host a horror podcast called Fright Day that you can check out if you want more. But
that's a good podcast for Halloween.
Yeah, it's a great time to do it.
A little spooky.
But yeah, Pokemon GOcast. That's us. Ken, Melissa, and Adam, thanks so much for having us.
Yeah, we really appreciate it.
I really enjoyed being on your show tonight. Thank you very much for having me.
Awesome. We're psyched to have you guys.
Yeah.
And Parker, do you have a...
Yeah, I got
stuff. You got stuff?
I got stuff. I'm fine.
Oh, that's all?
I keep it all Pokemon Go. I feel like I anger our fans so often that
you don't want
with
people
characters and stuff that we do.
What do you mean characters?
Well, sometimes we get some rage, and I want them to have to find me if they want to see that rage.
I'll tell this to our fans who are out there. Leave us 5, 4, 3, 2, or 1-star reviews, because I don't care. I love that you guys care.
That's very nice.
Review both of our podcasts. Yeah. Boom.
That's it.
What about the Art of Art?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. The Art of Art. Wow, that will come back someday. Someday that
we
podcast
took
will
a break.
return.
The weirdest thing about the Art of Art is that's
what spawned Pokemon GOcast. Tim and I were a growler of beer deep, and we just talked about Pokemon Go for a whole hour. And then
of Art of Art.
Let's just make a Pokemon Go podcast. And then we've just gotten some traction, so we just continued because people continue to listen.
But there are some old episodes of the Art of Art that people can check out.
Yeah. And we have a secret. The three of us have a secret podcast coming out soon, but we don't know when we're going to announce it. But we've got a few.
It's a secret.
Got a few test episodes in the bank.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I want to thank you again for coming on. I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping real quick that I normally do at the end of every episode. You can find everything about Gotta Watch 'Em All at GottaWatch'Em.com. You can find us on Twitter at Gotta Watch 'Em All. And we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch. We're on the TCGO. So definitely check us out. If you can leave us a review on iTunes, we would appreciate it. Also leave a review like these guys were saying for Pokemon GOcast. You guys gotta subscribe to their podcast. And the great thing about the show, and I think what makes your show so entertaining, is the fact that you guys have this dynamic because you're in the same spot. You're in the same location. Yeah. And that is just paramount for your style of podcasting. And I think that's why, I keep coming back to the show, is because you got the chemistry that you guys have, and the tangents you go on, and the rails that you derail from are so entertaining that everyone should just go check them out. Dude, it's so good.
We really appreciate it because we are just sitting here in Montana, the three of us,
man,
and we just sit here every week and we just put something out there, and sometimes we forget that it actually goes to people, and then it's pretty awesome just to be talking to people and Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thanks, guys. We really appreciate it.
No, thank you guys so much. And a quick shout to Seth Hay for designing our logo, Chipocrit for providing our outro music, Grimecraft for our intro music, GottaWatchTheMall.com to get all our stuffs. And that's pretty much going to wrap up the episode. I'm Proud Gamer Tweet on Twitter. Adam, where can they find you?
I'm Phoenix Back for Fire.
And Melissa isn't on the tweets.
No.
So she's
Melissa!
low key.
I know.
She's low key. She's super sweet miss on Pokemon Go.
Yes.
Yeah, so you got it.
All right, I'm shaking those gyms when I get there.
But thanks again, guys, and that's going to wrap up the episode. So, see you guys next week. Peace!